that shit that make you move, mama. Yeah.
No, can't do that. How? No. No. No.
Mama, this that shit that make you move.
What the hell? What's going on? What's this now? What's this? Ah, I'm trying to get something here. I don't know what crap this is. Oh Lord.
Mama, this that shit that make you.
Kalau korang cari poster lain daripada yang lain kan, korang boleh consider yang ni tau. Tapi yang ini korang jangan sirai kat luar. Takut kalau korang...
Are you really still wearing those stiff, uncomfortable shirts?
I'm struggling to... Oh, I don't know what this is, but anyway, Lord, let me just go ahead with this crap here on TikTok. I want to go on TikTok, but then look what's the thing that is coming out on this side. Is the color is something else. So what am I gonna do? I'll just go on like this. But let me get this. So my apologies for coming in late. No excuse. I just overslept. I woke up at some point, and then I still had like 1 hour, and I thought, well, let me sleep a bit. Then I woke up, and that was it. I overslept. So now, anyway, let me get straight into the discussion, and later on I will open phone lines so that you can come in and you can express your views. You can ask for some clarification, whatever. I'm gonna open phone lines after my presentation. Now I want to start on the legal issues. I want to start with the legal issues. Then I will go into the demands of the family, and towards the end, I'll talk about how UPND has handled this. So I've segmented it in 3 parts. The first part, I want to deal with the legal issues surrounding all this. And then, talk about the demands and talk about how Upnd has handled this. Now, to start with, we are on the verge of the 7th day. I think tomorrow Saturday, it will be 7 days. Government had declared 7 days of national mourning. So tomorrow, the 7 days elapses. And we don't know how government will handle this. We don't know how government will handle this. I have seen how President Hakainde Hichilema seems to be very determined to make sure that this issue is resolved. I am very much aware and I appreciate the efforts by President Hakainde Hichilema. Surely, I mean, his efforts in trying to make sure that things go right cannot go unnoticed. They cannot go unnoticed, and I think we should commend him. Now, of course, many times now when you talk about Hakainde Hichilema, you are commending him. Everyone is now talking about, no, TAYALI, you want to come back. TAYALI, you want to come back. TAYALI, you want to come back. I mean, you are being petty. You are being petty, and that is something that I want to put aside. That in what I do, it is not about to be because I want to come back. No, or I want to get, no. Unfortunately, I am that fool that speaks out something that will even annoy the people that you want to benefit something from. I am that fool that will speak out even to annoy the very people that are actually feeding me. I am actually that person that will bite the very finger that is feeding me. If at all I believe that what I'm saying is the truth, what I'm saying is will give my conscience peace. I have got a weak conscience, which doesn't want to be struggling. My conscience doesn't want to be struggling. I don't want to say lies and then I remain struggling within myself. No. I am that fool that will tell you the truth, even if you are the one that is sponsoring me. I'm a guy that will tell you the truth, even if I know that you are the guy that has to do something for me. So even if, yes, I want to come back, that's for sure. I am not here. I'm not going to stay here forever. Eventually, I will have to come back. Eventually, I'm coming back to Zambia. I am not interested in living, abroad for a long time. No. I want to come back. I want to come back. I want to continue, my advocacy in my country. I want to contribute to the governance of my country. So I definitely want to come back. But I know for sure that with my character, it might be very difficult even for Hakainde Hichilema, to put up with me. Today, you are Upnd, you are excited and you are praising me. You are saying all sorts of good things. It is because what I'm saying is in agreement with you. It is because what I'm saying, it is good to your ears. But tomorrow, there will be an issue where I will not agree with you. And believe you me, I will not spare you. Believe you me, Hakainde Hichilema, I will not praise him. If tomorrow something happens and I don't agree with Hakainde Hichilema, I will not praise him. I will not. I will speak the same way that I am speaking, against the political virtues. That is the same way I'm going to speak against President Hakainde Hichilema. So I'm not even interested in your ingratiating behavior. I'm not interested. You are ingratiating yourselves. Not TAYALI. Hey, whatever. I'm not interested. Because I know tomorrow you will be the same people that you will be on me, you will be insulting me, you will be calling me names. Hey, Edgar Lungu is gone. Edgar Lungu is gone. Before, when I speak against the UPND, you were busy. Hey, PF is sponsoring you. Hey, Edgar Lungu is sponsoring you. Whatever. Now Edgar Lungu is gone. I don't know who you are going to say this one is sponsoring you. You just fail to appreciate the fact that inelesa lintumpika. One tumpika nilesa mule chita blamelesa. Because God always makes sure that I have what I need. Always make sure that I have what I need. There are fools in that country who thought, because they were helping me in this way and that way, they thought that I'll get stuck. Here I am, I'm still alive, I'm still here. I'm still even enjoying a nice juice. Allah. And that's why efona tumpira because they said in tumpika lesala mpera fiance nangu station lesa alafu mino from nowhere he comes in and he helps me out. So nishakwata I've got no credit no muntu I don't put people like evale sawe. So if you funela sawaira tiyo lefo kuwerawe baka inde ichile male so muinele akasarati mbwekeremo. I will come back. It will not be up to Haka inde ichile, it will not be up to UPND, it will not be up to anyone. When God will decide to say TAYALI now you have to go home, I will come back. I will go and God will protect me. God protects me. That is one thing that you should be hearing. So having said that, anyway, let's go to the legal issues now. The issue is that there are no clear laws relating to the funerals, of former head of state. There are no laws that are there to say when a former head of state dies, we should have a state funeral and government should do this, should do this. Those laws are not clear laws. They are not written down. If you go in our constitution, you will not find an article that is talking about the funeral of the former head of state. There is nothing. There are no clear guidelines to say this is what should happen. It's not there. So basically, however, as a society, we don't just rely on what is written in the constitution. No, we don't just, it is not the law that works. It is not just what is in the constitution. There are certain laws that are not prescribed in the constitution, but somehow they guide us. Somehow they are there. By default, they are there. There are no laws in the constitution that will tell you to say, no, you should respect elders. You won't find it in the constitution where it is written to say, you should respect elders. But, it is part of our culture. It is part of our being as human beings to respect one another and to respect elders. Okay? Even when it comes to governance, there are certain things that, they are not there, but really, as a government, they are there, they have to do them. Okay? So, when you talk about a former head of state must be respected. A former head of state must be respected. Unless otherwise, we have this bad leader, we have this bad leader that we say, no, come on, this one, we cannot accept this. But Zambia, we have been very lucky. All our leaders have been good. They have had their weaknesses, but they have contributed immensely, given that it doesn't want us to use that word. But a number of our leaders have contributed immensely to our country. And therefore, we honor them. We respect them. We have no reason as a country to disrespect our former leaders. We have no reason. And this is why all our former presidents, who, by the way, all of them have died, we have respected them. Whenever we have had a funeral, when we had a funeral of Dr. Kaunda, we respected him. We honored him. When we had a funeral of Arabi, we honored him. When we had a funeral for Chiluba, we honored him. But these are not, you won't find whatever we did in the Constitution. But we did it as a nation, as the values that we have embraced as a country. So, President Hakainde Hichilema declaring a 7 days national mourning. It is out of who we are. It is out of the values that we espouse as a country. It is about values, because values, you won't find them written down, this. No. Values are what defines who you are, what you respect as a people. And President Hakainde Hichilema is responding to those values. This is our value. This is how it should be. Hakainde Hichilema is not saying from nowhere now, I love Edgar Chagwa Lungu. From now on, we have no issues. Hey, no. Everything, whatever. It is not about that. So, it is bad for those of you who are coming out to say, no, but he was not respecting him. He did not do this. You are bringing in the politics. Some of you even went to an extent of saying, no, the president should apologize. Now, that is very wrong. It is very wrong. And I am disappointed with some of you, these opposition leaders, who are saying that no, Hakainde Hichilema should have apologized. Apologized on what? Let's be real. Apologized on what? What? Apologizing about what? About doing politics. Because what has existed between President Hakainde Hichilema and Edgar Lungu and the rest of us, including myself and everybody else, what has existed? It's politics. It's politics. It's part of our politics. You can't run away from this. You can't run away from this. Whilst you are saying, no, Hakainde Hichilema should apologize, I ask you, what about Edgar Lungu himself? What about Edgar Lungu? Who is going to apologize for Edgar Lungu? If there were apologies to be made, who was supposed to apologize first? Who was supposed to apologize first? Because, the fact of the matter is that when Edgar Lungu was in State House, he also did terrible things to Hakainde Hichilema. He did bad things to Hakainde Hichilema. So who is going to apologize for the bad things that Edgar Lungu did to Hakainde Hichilema? Who is going to apologize? You are calling Hakainde Hichilema to apologize. You want to verify Hakainde Hichilema. But the point is, what about Edgar Lungu himself? And na papa tamumbele koluse ishirelandile fimulando wako bati yo at pantu uafwa, you don't talk about negative things. Unfortunately, I just have to talk about these things. I just have to say things as they are. Ma politics, the point I'm trying to make over it, if you are chitika, ma politics, ili walungu na wawali in power. When Edgar Lungu was in power, he also did bad things to Hakainde Hichilema. He did bad things. And if Hakainde Hichilema was being petting Gefyomudi. Now waka in the Ichlemanga na imoko ati Edgar Lungu ali umuwisana because now I'm the president. I cannot I'm not going to declare a national day of national mourning. He can do that. He would have done that, and what would you have said if Haka in the Ichilema, because there is no law that is compelling him. There is no law that is compelling him to declare a national mourning. There is no law. So if Haka in the Ichilema was being petting Gefyomudi, Haka in the Ichilema, if he responded the way you are doing, because he could have said no national mourning, and he would have even kept quiet. He would have even kept quiet. You are saying, no, hey, the president has not spoken. What was the president going to say? What was the president going to say? Because even yesterday's speech, for me, I didn't even see it necessary. Yesterday's speech, I didn't even see it necessary. Yesterday's speech, I didn't see it necessary because the problem is on this side. These guys are being unreasonable. These guys are making unreasonable demands. But well, he did very well, I must say, because he went above the pettiness. And he came and said, okay, some people, they express, a grief in different ways. Some people, they will shout and whatever. He was making excuses for your unreasonableness. He was making excuses for your unreasonableness. I mean, I appreciate him for that, but I don't think you would expect that from me. I don't think you would expect that from me. Kulia kutumpika abantu. Kuba tumpika. Now you should not have the fiabu puba. But why chefia and you start making excuses for them? You are very lucky. And for that, I commend him. I commend him. I don't agree with him. I don't agree with him. I mean, the nonsense that has been going on in the country. Believe you me, that nonsense that is happening at the secretariat. We must commend that Hakainde Hichilema that he has accepted it. He has allowed it. But in the true sense of it, that is nonsense that is going on. That is anarchy that is going on. And you must really commend this guy that you are trying to say, let him apologize. You must commend him. Because strong leaders will not allow that nonsense. They will not allow it. In my view, Hakainde Hichilema, and I'll talk about this towards the end. They are submitting, they are showing weaknesses to a point that they are embarrassing the government. I'll talk about towards the end. Hakainde Hichilema does not, the government that he owns is not only his. It is for all of us. And in Chilenkalipa to see our government being embarrassed by these fools, by these political vultures. Chilenkalipa. But anyway, Hakainde Hichilema has taken that route. Mufile mule tola no wapona. Mule tola no wapona for Hakainde Hichilema to put up with your nonsense in the manner that he has done. Because as Chiluvatayali, I wouldn't have put up with that nonsense. I wouldn't have put up with that nonsense. Even some of these other leaders who are talking, I don't think they would have put up with other leaders with that kind of nonsense. I don't think they would have done though. They would have done that. I don't think Fred Membe would have put up with that nonsense. I don't think so. I know Fred Membe. I know Fred Membe is a disciplinarian. He's a strong disciplinarian, but Fred Membe. I don't think Fred Membe, being a Republican president, would have put up with that nonsense. I don't think Edgar Lungu, soft as he was, a humble man, the humble man that he was, I don't think he would have allowed that nonsense. Imwe. Just, let's be real. Let's pause for a moment. Edgar Lungu is the one that is in State House. UPND is in opposition. UPND going to have a funeral at their secretariat. Imwe bantu. Come on, let's be real. Let's be real. Let's be real. We say, Edgar Lungu would have put up the nonsense of what is currently going on. Eh? Our humble man, our humble leader. Do you think he would have allowed Hakainde Hichilema, or maybe UPND, so to say? UPND, Hakainde Hichilema na fwani shapo. Eh? Do you think Edgar Lungu would have accepted that nonsense? Do you think that given Lubinda would have accepted that nonsense? Do you think Kampiongo would have left that nonsense? Yeah? Do you think these were PF1? Do you think they would have left them to do what they are doing? Surely, I mean, I've said a lot of things about Hakainde Hichilema. But on this one, really, I mean, he has done more than I can do, at least for me. He has done more than I can do. At least he has done more than I can do. Because whatever you are doing, you have got, there are laws that can be cited, you see, against you. Whatever these UPND guys, these PF guys are doing, there is a law. There are laws that can be cited to say, this is the law you have broken. This is the law you have broken. There are laws. Whatever nonsense that you are doing, there are laws that can be cited that you have done, what you have done here is wrong. What you have done here is wrong. But from on the other side, what Hakainde Hichilema has done, it is purely out of his humanity. Out of his humanity. That's all. That's all. I want you to get this point. On whatever you are doing, imwe, vantuanikane, whatever, va political virtue, whatever you are doing, there are laws that can be cited that this is the law you have broken. On this side, whatever Hakainde Hichilema is doing, there are no laws that can be cited to say, I mean, this is how he should conduct himself. There are no laws. So far, he has been gratuitous. So far, he has been gratuitous. And you must commend him. You must commend him. Not me, really. Because I can't commend what I cannot do. What I think is, this is not the way it's supposed to be. So, on the... basically, just to say, there are no laws in Zambia that compels government to do whatever courtesy, whatever honor that they have to. There are no laws. There are no laws. So there is nothing taboo if Hakainde Hichilema decided to say, we are not going to do anything. There is nothing. And he could have done that. He could have done it. He could have done it. There is no law. There is no law. Mumfuikisha, there is no law. There is no law that compels Hakainde Hichilema to honor Edgar Lungu as a former president, a funeral, a state funeral and whatever. There is no law. He does it out of the values that we espouse as a country. But there is no law that you can cite to say Hakainde Hichilema has broken this law for not honoring whatever. Nothing. He is not obliged at all. It is an honor that is just given to somebody that you recognize to say this person had saved the country. Had saved the country, you know, immensely. And therefore, let's honor him. It is an honor. It is an honor. That's what it is. That's what it is. So, you are very wrong. You are on a wrong footing to be making these unreasonable demands. You are on a wrong foot. You are not appreciating grace. You are not appreciating it. You are not appreciating a good courtesy from this government, which you yourselves may not have done. So there is no law, please. There is no law. There is no law. Hakainde Hichilema is not obliged. It is an honor that you give to a citizen that you believe that he served the country. And it can be given to anyone. Even me, when I die, if Hakainde Hichilema so wishes, he can say, no, Tayali contributed immensely. We used to differ a lot. But this guy was a president and he was the most reasonable opposition. Most reasonable opposition, the voice of the voiceless. The conscience of governments, because I'm a conscious of any government, of any leader. All the presidency, at least, from the time that I've been active in politics, I have not spared them when I thought they are doing something wrong. Arabi, I didn't. I spoke out. Basata, I did. Edgar Lungu, I did. Hakainde Hichilema, I did. I am the most objective or most reasonable guy. So for that, Hakainde Hichilema can say, you know what? Let's honor Tayali. We are going to have a state funeral. He can give me a state funeral if he so wishes. It is up to him how he looks at it. How did this person contribute to the country? But number one, they honor you if they honor me with a state funeral. My family should not now take advantage and start coming up now with all sorts of demands. No. Because these people, they want to embarrass the government. They want to embarrass Hakainde Hichilema. But Tabale Tasha, they are not being grateful. So there is nothing obliging government to act in the manner that has been done so far. There is nothing. There is no law. There is no law. Now, let's go to the demands. What are these demands? Of course, when I hate myself, my hand is not okay. My hand is not okay this side. It's not okay. And anyway, I'll take the tablet. So, what are the demands of the of Awabantu? What are the demands? Firstly, I want to say that whatever the demands that these people are putting up, these demands are not what the family wants in the interest of saving what Edgar Lungu wanted. It is not. I want you to hear me very well. That Makebi Zulu and a few of these so-called family members, a few, I am not mentioning their names because, because I know them. I know people who are calling shots. I know the so-called family members. I know them. But I'm going to spare you. I'm going to spare you because very soon I will have to start advocating for you to be led to be looked after. So because it might be very difficult if I start bringing out your names. It might be very difficult for us to intercede for you. It might be difficult for us to start interceding for you. You have got cases, Namkwatama cases. And these cases will remain even after Edgar Lungu is buried. Whether you bury him in South Africa, whether you bury him wherever, at the end of the day, you will be called Kumakoti. You will be called Kumakoti. But I, for one, as Shrifa Tayali, I am saying that shouldn't continue. I'm saying that shouldn't continue. And trust me, I will come here and I will be speaking for you. I'll be speaking for you. And I know others will turn around to say, but this guy, the other day he was saying this, whatever. Now I want you to know that soon after this, I will be speaking for the family of Edgar Lungu. I'll be speaking for them, that we look after them. So it is actually quite unfortunate that these people have dug in, they have dug in to say this. And yet, they should have taken a different approach, because there is life after this funeral. There is life after that body is put to rest. There is life. But tabale tonton kanya apoyo. So, whatever that they are doing, these people, they are doing it not really to serve the interest of Edgar Lungu. Edgar Lungu is gone. Edgar Lungu has no interest now. Edgar Lungu has no interest now. Edgar Lungu has no wishes now. He's gone. He's gone. So whatever these people are doing, it is their wish. It is their interest. They are serving their interests. And this is why the demands have been changing. The demands have been changing. What they have been talking about has been changing. Immediately Edgar Lungu died, these people, remember, what were they saying? They had a problem. They said, no, because Edgar Lungu came here as a private person. Edgar Lungu was not treated well. And so we want to bring the body ourselves. The same way he came as a private person. That is the same way we want to bring him as a private person. That's what they were saying. The issue when Edgar Lungu died, they were talking about how bad Hakainde Hichilema treated him. That's what they were talking about. They were no what Edgar Lungu said. They were talking about how he was treated, because they removed whatever. They removed the presidential emoluments. They removed them. The former president emoluments. They removed the benefits. That was their complaint. And when they did that, we responded. Some of us, we responded to say, look, Hakainde Hichilema did not remove or did not withdraw the entitlements of the former head of state. He didn't withdraw the entitlements. It is as the law when Edgar Lungu came back into politics, the law says that he should not be given those entitlements. So it is not Hakainde Hichilema per se. It is the law. The law demands of that. When you are participating in politics, there is no way you are going to be paid taxpayers' money. There is no way you are going to be funded in your political activities, because that's what it means. When a former head of state and is still doing politics and is getting the money as a former head of state, it is like you are funding his political activities. And I, as Chilufa TAYALI, will complain or will be disadvantaged, because I will be competing with somebody who is getting taxpayers' money, whilst myself, I don't have that privilege. That is why that law is there. Because they don't want government to sponsor one political opponent of the government at the expense of others, at the expense of citizens, or excluding other political players. So we responded. This is not about Hakainde Hichilema hating Edgar Chagwa Lungu. It is because Edgar Chagwa Lungu was playing politics. If he had not gone into politics, Edgar Chagwa Lungu would have been receiving those benefits. He would have been receiving. He was receiving those benefits. He was receiving. Immediately he left office and he wrote a letter to say, I've resigned. He was receiving. Hakainde Hichilema never stopped it. He never stopped it. It was only stopped when Edgar Lungu publicly came up and said, Utuma benefits uko ine, I want to sort out PF. He himself said it. Utuma benefits uko ine, I want to sort out in Twankan. So you cannot put it on Hakainde Hichilema. Anyway, that was the argument. And when we did that, then they changed. They went into another gear. They brought up something else. What did they bring this time around? This time around, now they said, no, the mourning period is short. They said the mourning period is short. We come on Wednesday and then we bury on Saturday. No, national mourning should extend. National mourning should be declared on Wednesday, should start on Wednesday. And then it should go on. If it is 7 days, it should be 7 days from Wednesday. They were faulting government to say government was wrong to declare a national mourning to start on Sunday. They wanted it to start on Wednesday, and then it should go on. But surely, if you look at it, a funeral has happened, a former head of state is gone, and you want to continue almost 1 week, living as if everything is okay. Everything is okay. I mean, how would have people looked at us? How would have people looked at us? Flags would have continued flying at high marks. People would have continued. They would have continued. So that doesn't make sense. 7 days umuntu nafwa era mwikale muchite kwa tapali fichitike. Awe. It didn't make sense. Then now they moved now. That is when now they brought in this issue now to say, Edgar hakainde ichilema Edgar Lungu said inenga nafwa ishilefwaya hakainde ichilema to come near my coffin. I don't want. You see how they have been moving? Have you seen how they have been moving? When he died, they never said, this is what Edgar Lungu said. It was after Baleta Pwefi, and eventually now one minute, because we cannot challenge them on what Edgar Lungu said. We can't challenge them on that. Now they use up to say, no, this is what he said. And we usually like doing this. No, idio wale for wala ndilefi. So that, because it is difficult for people to challenge you. It is difficult for people to challenge you because you were not there. Ngana talikat awe iwe. Balungu tabala ndilefi. Mwalanje bati, busheko wali. Were you there? You were not there. Efo bala ndile. Ine nebo na dinabo. Ine nebo na lipa bedside. You talk like that. But you just use this to manipulate the people that are there to save your interest. You don't save the interest of the people a person who is gone. Because a person who is gone is gone. A person who is gone is gone. Walungu na vaya. Whatever he said, you will not come back and say, hey, you are Makebi Zulu, why did you do this? It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Balungu na vaya, that's a reality. That's a reality. But, and actually it is not true. Makebi Zulu alenya fyowa kunya wabu bufi. Bufi Makebi Zulu alenya fyowa kunya aleve pafye. Mambala aleve pa Makebi Zulu aleve poko bati balungu bala ndira chiyo ichile fwaya haka inde ichile make seko kuchirino chandi. Fia bufi. Bufi. Why do I say bufi? Because Edgar Lungu tefwali. Imwe. Wishe Edgar Lungu tamamu ishive. Imagine if Edgar Lungu was alive today. Imagine if Edgar Lungu was alive today. Bushemu lenje wakwati, hii stalemate ingeko ili. Just let's us pause for a moment and ask ourselves. If ibalela ndaba, if ibachitire fyonsefi, bushe Edgar Lungu ngekwali. Umuine nge ulipo ngepwali. Bushe, you think we would have had this stalemate? We wouldn't have had this stalemate at all. We wouldn't have had this stalemate because Edgar Lungu was not this confrontational. Edgar Lungu was not incorrigible. Edgar Lungu was not stubborn. He wasn't. The man, I mean, he chose peace. Whenever there is like a conflict, the guy went to choose peace. Whenever there is like a conflict, Edgar Lungu, I mean, if you like, you can even say, I mean, he was too soft, if you like. Edgar Lungu, he was not like this. We have had confrontation before. We had confrontations before. When Edgar Lungu, iyo basata bafuire. Basata bashirire Edgar Lungu to act basata bafurire bashirire Edgar Lungu to act. Edgar Lungu was the acting president when Basata died. When Basata died, abena guy Scott na abena Musa mwenye baishaima iwe teiwo furo kuchita act. Teiwo furo kuchita act. The vice president of Rockstar Act. What did Edgar Lungu do? Did Edgar Lungu fight? Did you see Edgar Lungu fighting? No. Okay. You want to act. That was Edgar Lungu. When there is conflict, he chose, to give it up. That was Edgar Lungu. He left it. A number of instances, even when he was president, when there was whatever Edgar Lungu gave in. Edgar Lungu gave in. He gave in even at the point when there was, a dispute of elections. Hakainde Hichilema is president today, but there was a dispute. There was a dispute. You remember Davis Muila. But Davis Muila went and said, we don't agree these elections. We don't agree. What did Edgar Lungu do? He gave in. He gave in. He was president with instrument of power. And there was a dispute. But Edgar Lungu gave in. That was Edgar Lungu. That was Edgar Lungu. So imagine this instance. Edgar Lungu is alive. Do you think Edgar Lungu would have dug in the way these political vultures have dug in? I don't believe so. I don't believe so. Owing to where we are coming from, owing to the behavior of Lungu, I don't believe Lungu would have made it so difficult for the rest of us. No ways. He wouldn't. He wouldn't. Not for Edgar Lungu. Not for Edgar Lungu. Even when Wakapokola went to cut the gate, what did Edgar Lungu do? Edgar Lungu came out and he had a discussion. He had a discussion. And issue was resolved. You see? So Edgar Lungu didn't have this character. He character ya kwa Makebi Zulu. Ni Makebi Zulu, he character ni efu aba Makebi Zulu. If you have a Makebi Zulu thrives at these kind of things. And you will see his character in his operations. If you have a Makebi Zulu, I don't know we know Lukula. I don't know we know ukumpela attention. He's a young man with an inflated ego. He's a young man with an inflated ego. He has got a deficiency somewhere. Makebi Zulu has got a deficiency somewhere. And, people who have got a complex, people with complex, people with some deficiencies, they come out to give you this lion posture. But really, it is their nakedness, it is their smallness in their pants that comes out like that. It is not really that they are strong guys. It is because somewhere, if somewhere the guy is small. And so you will come and trouble everyone. And that is how they feel fulfilled. That is how they compensate their smallness somewhere else. That is Makebi. Remember, Makebi Zulu has been at the center of a lot of confusion in our country. A lot of confusion. I supported him, when he took on Sylvia Masebo. He took on Sylvia Masebo, he took on. But I supported him on that one. Then he had an issue. He came and he took on Mtembonchito. The Mtembonchito saga, the guy that was at the center, it was Makebi Zulu. And look how they treated Mtembonchito. By that time, Mtembonchito was DPP. And Makebi Zulu went to town, did all sorts of terrible things. Just to embarrass Mtembonchito. It was to embarrass Mtembonchito. He wanted to see a DPP caged in a cell. The big Mtembonchito, Kamakebi Zulu wanted to make sure that he cages this big guy into a small. That is when he would have felt good. It is a complex, it is a psychological complex. Even Vasata, Makebi Zulu did not spare Vasata. He didn't. He thrives at this kind of nonsense. He thrives at this kind of nonsense. It is not Edgar Lungu, it is Makebi Zulu doing all this nonsense. It is Makebi Zulu. And of course, I'm not going further. I would have spoken about some of the family members and their behavior. Because I know the behavior of some of the family members, the so-called family members, because there are only basically 3 people. Only 3 people. Whatever nonsense that you are seeing, it's 3 people. There is one other person that they have recruited, but, you know, she's not really calling the shots. There are only 3 people. And there are only 3 people. 3 people. I have said, I'm only mentioning Makebi Zulu, but these other 2, I am not going to talk about them because I want to come and advocate for them. So but these 3 people, they are the people that were even pushing Edgar Lungu to come back into politics. They are the people, they knew how weak Edgar Lungu was, but they kept on pushing him. Knowing very well that ukufumapo bale ya mkusende miti ukumpera Edgar Lungu, knowing very well that the man is not okay, and yet they were pushing him. Ala nga elonga mwaisa emina mwambo kula pepo ufi ala lesaka nikanda ifuma evi muchitefi lesaka nikanda ine lesa echo ampari that because ndanda fe fishing. I'm not malicious. What I'm saying here is not malice. It is the truth. So they are putting up all this. It's Makebi Zulu doing this. And Makebi Zulu, I've told you, Makebi Zulu has got presidential ambitions. Unbridled presidential ambitions. Makebi Zulu. I wanna kalufuma kakokale. I wanna what now nakosa to become president. Alama politics yari shupa. Ama politics te kwa vati yo pantu wai kutaka lufumo katumino wa ambo kuresha kalufuma tawe awo na ine nomba kutina wakateka yali kakanama politics to reach presidents tepa nono Muzambia munamona kwa tibukateka wali anguka wako vati ulionza le tuntumbafi nanye kutina Makebi Zulu, you are far away to become president. I will be president before you, Makebi Zulu. I will be president. Don't think that I'm a fool. I'm not a fool to take this position that I've taken. I'm not a fool. I am calculating. I am looking around, seeing what is there. Some of you think that haka inde ichirema. Naba mupata abantu. No, haka inde ichirema naba mupata. Things are very bad. Haka inde ichirema. Dintabali mufwaya. So you are thinking that immediately you get this fake anointment to say, no, you think that you can win an election. I can assure you that PF at the moment, including Munduwire, you don't stand a chance. I'm sorry to disappoint you supporters. PF doesn't stand a chance. It doesn't stand a chance of winning 2026 elections. And this is not a support for Upnd or Hakainde Ichilema. It is the facts as they are. Tapali Muzambia, tapali. Mulifyoku tali. It is because you have never fought in the trenches of politics for you to think that you can win an election in 2026. You have never been in the trenches. You have never been politics. You have never. Makebizulu, you have never been in the trenches of politics. You have never. You were a minister, but you were just handed. You were just handed. Baku perefie. U minister bobe baku perefie you Makebizulu. You never fought for it. So you don't know what it is to go in a political field and fight. You don't know what it means. You don't know. That is why you think that in 2026, Kutimwa winner my elections. You have never fought for politics. You never. You were in power, but you never fought. Satomwine. Ualwi shishe PF to come and win an election. If Sata was alive today, he would not even phantom, winning. He would not even, he would not Sata as experienced as he was. He wouldn't. No. Mukamona muke sanjeva. Muke sanjeva. And I'm not supporting Akainde Ichilema. I'm telling you, just the political dynamics. The political dynamics, you are nowhere. You are nowhere. Holding on to the body, kirikiti, hoping that, that body, chalaba chishimba for you to become president. Muriokutari. And you don't know politics because you never fought. Yes, I've seen some people saying, hey, Tasira can become Iwe. Tasira, honestly. What jokes are those? What jokes are those? What jokes? Tasira. Nivala viva, niva traditional wife. So, tetindande posana, tetindande posana. But otherwise, nangufema politics. Sometimes, wabantu, wamshamo, uliani gero andiulia. So, kumshamo. But really, let's face it, she will be very lucky if she will even survive a political terrain after the death of the father. She will be very lucky. She will be very lucky. Which foot is she going to use? Left or right? What is she going to use? What is Tasila going to use to survive in the political sphere? What? Yani kama politics imwe mwilangana. Ba Makebizulu bali mupere mu minister. Imwe ba Makebizulu bali mupere mu minister. In the province where your constituency was. You had a constituency in the Eastern Province and you were the minister of Eastern Province. But you lost an election because you're not a politician. You're not a politician. And now you think you can have a go at presidency? Damn you. Damn you. Wait. Look at us. Follow us. If you want to do politics, you should be attending these programs that I do every day. And be keeping my notes. Be keeping my notes. It can help you. No, Tayali was whatever. Makebi was your lawyer and whatever. It is because I'm Chulufa Tayali that Makebi used to come. It is because I'm Chulufa Tayali that Makebi used to come. Anyway, let's get back to the demand. So basically, I have fiancé all these things. I am a demand. It is for. It is Makebizulu and another person that really I am sparing, okay, these demands. And this is why they have been changing, because it's not about Edgar Lungu. Edgar Lungu's character was not confrontational. Edgar Lungu's whatever was not whatever the word tale koselele fitale. And now, let's say, no, he doesn't want Hakainde Ichilema to be near his coffin. Edgar Lungu was forgiving. I don't believe that Edgar Lungu said that. Because Edgar Lungu was forgiving. We used to have differences with Edgar Lungu. We used to differ. I have called Edgar Lungu names. And Edgar Lungu also did, I mean, Banjikata, whatever. But, I mean, towards the, we used to reconcile anyway. We used to reconcile. Whenever Edgar Lungu is lying, I don't think Edgar Lungu is saying he's upset with me, no. If Edgar Lungu understood me, and we were in talking terms, very close. We used to sit one-on-one. We used to chat on phone for long times. For long times. There was a time when we used to talk, we would talk 3 times in a day. 3 times in a day. So we used to chat, but we had our differences, and yet we still had a relationship. Bakamwili said a lot of things about Edgar Lungu, but they were friends at the end of the day. But GBM said a lot of things. At the end of the day, they were friends. A lot of people, even Wafred, they said things. And of course, from both sides, Wafred wrote a lot of things. By Edgar Lungu closed the post. I mean, Edgar Lungu was not really holding on to these things. He understood politics. Edgar Lungu understood politics. KBF, a number of people in London, some of these people, it is actually me who interceded, who said, me. There are people that by Edgar Lungu, because of whatever happened, Edgar Lungu was not happy with them. And when we started the issues of whatever, some people, it is me, some of you people went to see Edgar Lungu because of my advice. I cannot start mentioning bad Lungu. So I cannot start saying no, I cannot do that. But I can tell you that a number of people, some of them, they ended up talking with Edgar Lungu out of me intervening. And I know his initial response. I know when I mentioned one name and he said, no, that man, that man, no. I said, no. Wakateka, I mean, chinsha shupa, tunachi politics hapa. In politics, kwa permanent data, ulia mundulia, nika wala ulia mundulia. Na rimu pero lupia, chabana shani, ampishamo. Ero wala kudia, amu kulala ndefe. But at the end of the day, I mean, Edgar Lungu reconciled with these people. They walked hand in hand with some of these people. So there is no way I'm going to agree that no, because they had these differences na haka inde ichilema. He had this view. No, I don't believe so. And I can tell you that even with haka inde ichilema, it was not as bad as these people want to put it. I want to tell you the relationship between Edgar Lungu and Hakainde Hichilema, it was not as bad as these people want to portray. Because we used to discuss these issues. We used to discuss people in government. We used to discuss Hakainde Hichilema himself. We used to. And those in government, because sometimes I was relaying information to say, Lungu. I used to go back and tell, I used to do that. So it was not as bad as these Makebi Zulu wants to paint it. Edgar Lungu, sometimes you used to tell me to say, Wayasan. I can give you an example. When I was attacking Ntuan Kanab, I'll mention this one. Because, I mean, he spoke so close. When I was attacking ECZ chairperson, Bazalomes. At one point I said something about Bazalomes, what. But Edgar Lungu called me and he said, you know, Zalomes, she's very good. I worked with Zalomes. I think they were working on a document. What document was that? I think it was ISIS. It had something to do with ISIS. And he said, no, she's very good and whatever. And he said, but at one time I mentioned something, party wedding. Party wedding, I said something. He called me. He said, how when are you? Now, you know, now Fiomwana. He was mentioning Edgar Haka in the HDM. To say, no, you cannot talk about that wedding. I mean, this man is celebrating, you know, marrying off his child. Now whatever, you know, whatever. So it was not that bad. I never heard Edgar Lungu speaking so bad, so negative about Hakainde Hichilema. I never heard. I'm telling you, there were a number of times that we discussed things different, but I never heard Edgar Lungu coming out so bad. I never did. Look, if he hated Hakainde Hichilema so much, how would he call Tabokawana when he heard Tabokawana is in South Africa sick? Because I'm a politician for Wangana Upato Muntu. Even those that are associated with him, you hate them. How did Edgar Lungu call Tabokawana? And this is not too long ago. This is not too long ago. If I told he really hated this government so bad, do you think he would have called Tabokawana? No. Balemu be peshafie Edgar Lungu. Balemu be peshafie. And okay, fine. Let's even imagine that this is true. He said those things. Let's even imagine this is true. Are you telling me you want to take the hatred that existed between Edgar Lungu and Hakainde Hichilema into the grave? Are you sure? Because Edgar Lungu naya. Edgar Lungu takawele yo. Mpaka umwine Yesu edwa kesa. Naya. So why should you hold on to the beef that was there, to the hatred that existed, if at all it was even that bad? Why should you hold on? Because now for Edgar Lungu, now for Ima, why should you continue? Muchika tilidefye. Wulo shiwi no. Wulo shiwu mule chitayo makebi zulu. Wulo shi. You have brought in superstition in this to say no, Hakainde Hichilema, ngamona body, chikawashani, whatever. Ninjishiwa formulelanda, ninjishiwa. Whatever body, whatever. If you mulelanda. If you mulelanda, if you, ubulo shinga kudi ubulo shi, ni momule chito ubulo shi. Ni momule chito ubulo shi, ubulo shi mule chitama kebizulu. Ubu akuikatirira chitumbi mwaikatirira mwambo kufumyamo efishimba efi mulefu ayo kufumyamo muli body yakwa Edgar Lungu mulefu kufumyamo efishimba fyama politics uko bati muwina ma politics mulefu kufumyamo efishimba nimwe mule chite ifyama superstition ifyabwanga nimwe mule chita bwango obu mule chita ubikatirira chitumbi mwaikatirira wanga nimwe mule chito wanga nimwe mule chito buloshi pantu takwabo kobekatirire chitumbi takwava umuntu ngafwa turafwa alala muchibote turafwa wangu twayamushika alala muchibote entambishe sefo twaikala ngaimwe chabashani ukikatirire chitumbi chabashani era mwikali mule tunganya abanenu ati yoni ndoshi imwe nimwe mule chitobuloshi nimwe mwikatirire chitumbi umuntu ngafa kuya mushika entambishe efo twaikala iwe makebizulu nobo muri nabo avo mwaikatirire chitumbi kuisa vya chitike pwefu imumwe bantu awe lekeni abantu baloshe. We have a closure and you can continue You can continue. Other demands, there are other demands to say, no, they want to take Ichitumbi. Ngabafika Zambia. They don't want the coffin to go wherever government may have prepared. They want the coffin to go straight to Kunganda, Kudiba Edgar Lungu. I'm not going to comment on that one. I'm not going to comment on that one. I mean, it can be done. It can be done. It can be done. But really, it can be done. No, balefwaya chikaye kuna nkane chitumbi chikaye kundola. Ero chikaye na kupeta uke. Those are things that, those things can be done. Those things can be done. Those things can be done. From my point of view, those things can be done. But this issue of saying, yo, tabalefwa haka inde ichirimaka palame kuchitumbi. That one is unreasonable. And when you're talking about a state funeral, you cannot have a state funeral and Makebi Zulu to take over as the state, as the head of state. Ba vice president that reason here. Because what you are trying to do, why she said that, of course it is not that it is the law, but it is the context that I think she was putting it, she was figuratively talking. Because you cannot have a state function and then you have Makebi Zulu to be like the head of state. How? How? Because that's basically what you are doing. That's what you are suggesting. You want us to have a state funeral and a guy who is not the head of state to be the one to talk. The head of state should go and sit Muti TV ale tamba like what happened Pachiriro Chagwa Anton Chagwa Kaunda, I think. Where HH was watching pa TV. That's what you want. Recognize that Hakainde Hichilema is president now. Recognize, accept that Hakainde Hichilema is president now. So you cannot push him into a living room to start watching a state funeral per TV. It can't happen. It can't happen. It can't happen. It can't happen. Forget it. It can't happen. And then again, it is very difficult for you to strip Edgar Lungu of his honor as a former head of state. It's very difficult. So that demand is unrealistic. And those superstitions that you want to bring in, there is more we can say in terms of superstition on your side than on government side. Because imwe ni mumu ikatirire chitumbi. Ife mule tafile panga sense ni mwe tuingevo uloshi. Ngapali wawikata uloshi ni mwevo. We could even accuse you of having had killed Edgar Lungu. Because you are seemingly to be the one benefiting out of this. You are the one benefiting out of this. At no for political mileage. How can you talk about political mileage? Hakainde Hichilema is already president. What political mileage? What political mileage? Hakainde Hichilema is president. So what political mileage is he going to make? Out of this, how? Are you normal? No, Hakainde Hichilema. Upnd wants to make political mileage. They are not in opposition. They are not in opposition. They are in leadership. They are in leadership. And making political mileage, tipachitumbi chakwa Edgar Lungu. Making political mileage, tipachitumbi chakwa Edgar Lungu. Ni mwevo mule panga political mileage, pachitumbi chakwa Edgar Lungu. Hakainde Hichilema political mileage, mutengo wavunga. Epali political mileage. Epo filemu fiantana o filemu shupoko, fiakwefyo. But that is a story for another day. Hakainde political mileage, it's delivering on the promises that he made. And when we start talking about that, that is a different story. Even my language will change. So, but you cannot talk about, no, he wants to make political mileage. How can you talk about political mileage? The guy is in State House. The guy is a president. It's you. It's you, Makebi Zulu, who wants to make political mileage. If there is anyone to be accused of having had killed Edgar Lungu, ni mwevo. Maybe palefo mwachitide. maybe very for much because behavior and taile moneka win. Maybe ni momo amuipe. Maybe ni momo amuipe, maybe ni momo amuipe. Ukwewa ati musandulule political life yenu. Afa twingalanda fi. Pamte tuntambo kubepesha aka inde ichilema. He's already there. He's already there. He's already there. Anyway, like I said, government has actually been very gracious in all this. They have been very, very gracious, and I commend them. But then there's something that I want to address the government also. You know, when this thing just happened, I spoke to some people. I told them that they need to take charge of all of this. I warned some people in government. I warned them, take charge of this thing, because I knew that it would come to this situation. But they were slow. You guys, you were slow to take control of this situation. You allowed it to reach a situation where number fiabipa. You could have done better. You could have done better. And I'm not speaking from without. If you remember, there was a funeral yakwa Tutwangulube. When Tutwangulube died, immediately I heard Tutwangulube has passed on. There was a narrative that was going round to say Tutwangulube was poisoned. Tutwangulube is poisoned. Tutwangulube is poisoned. I realized this will cause problems. I quickly stepped in. I rushed to Chagwa. Of course, I was giving statements, directing people to think properly. Abantu, leadership is about leading people. It's about helping them think. It is about helping them see something that they may not see. It is about opening their eyes. That's what leadership is all about. Leadership, te state house, I am whatever, mu government. Your responsibility number one is to lead people. Your responsibility is to lead people. You have to lead people in a certain direction at all times. Whenever something happens, you must think of the people. How are we going to lead people? Where are we going to lead people? Where should we take people? How should this go? How should it end? You need to plan. You need to plan. Ni free advice, free consultation to you people in government. The positions that you have, the leadership that you have is to lead people, number one. Especially in politics. Inchitotoa is to lead people. To lead people to where we think it is good. And to make sure that whatever processes that are happening, they go accordingly. You need to do this. You need to develop this skill. You don't have this skill. Most of the times, you Upnd, you are reactive. You start damage control. Instead of taking things, taking charge of things. And I'm giving you an example, what I did with Makebizu or with Tutwangulube. When Tutwangulube, people started saying this. I stepped in to help that situation, to correct that narrative, to put things in perspective. What I wanted was Tutwangulube to be buried properly. And I rushed to Chagwa. When people were coming, they were finding me in Chagwa. And immediately I arrived, I made sure I looked around who is who. Who is in charge? Who is in charge? And of course the wife was in charge. And I made sure that I created a relationship with the wife. I'd never met the wife. But I needed to create a relationship with the wife. Because I knew she's at the center for everything to go right. I needed to create a relationship with the wife. I created a relationship with the wife. Immediately I arrived in Kabwe. I looked around who else would be in charge here. I identified the uncle to Tutwangulube. Next, I looked around. Who is the eldest child? I saw this young man who was the whatever. The point I'm trying to make is that you make sure to look at who is who. Who is who in whatever you want to achieve. At the end of the day, you first of all, you must recognize who is who. Imwe. Did you recognize who is who? Did you try to create relationships? You should have done that. You mishandled this. You mishandled it. The narrative of the people were saying, oh, if I brought in a different narrative. Our government, those people, you people in government, you came. I stepped in. The member of parliament wanted to be chased. I stepped in. At the end of the day, we had a funeral where government people even brought food. Our government, they brought food. We mourned together. They even gave speeches. We managed the Ichiriro Chagwa Tutwangulu. Of course, it's not only me. There were other people that, we somehow brought together. But we managed to handle a situation that would have been very difficult. But we handled it very, very well. You guys, you were lagging behind. You were lagging behind. And now, you have brought us here where tomorrow it is the 7th day. And we don't know where we are going. Much as we are blaming Makebi Zulu, you also have a responsibility. You also had a responsibility. Makebi Zulu is doing all these nakwatama problems, yakona ego yako and whatever. You would have managed him. You would have managed him, I'm telling you. If I were on your side, I would have managed that Makebi Zulu. I would have managed that boy. I would have managed that boy. I would have managed whoever is in the family. I would have managed them. Such that at the end of the day, government is not embarrassed. Because you are risking embarrassing our government. Here I am. People have been sending condolences. And the people are thinking tomorrow we are going to bury. Now I have to start explaining why we are not burying tomorrow. You see the predicament that you have put us in? How am I going to? Because I cannot start saying, yo, Makebi Zulu nasungechi tumbi. I cannot be saying that. How will people look at our country? I cannot do that. So now you are putting us in a fix to start explaining the situation. Mudala, you should never allow a government to be embarrassed. You have got a good heart. But this one should be the last time that your leadership will be seen from a weak point of view, where your government is almost embarrassed. This should be the last time. Learn a lesson. Make sure you kick people around. You are the president in Mtwandi. And when the president speaks, there should be deliverables. At all costs. You don't embarrass a government. You don't. You don't. You don't embarrass a government. You don't allow people to embarrass a government. You don't allow people to embarrass the head of state. No ways. That is why I didn't appreciate yesterday's address, because he didn't give direction. When the president speaks, there must be clear directions. Things should be happening. Clinical. When a president comes in, things should be seen to happen. Yes, it is a democracy. Yes, Badiku South Africa. Yes, they are making their demands. But Mdala, you are a government. And you are a government, that's why you have diplomatic relationships. You should be able to pull strings. You should be able to pull strings. If you are failing as a government to pull strings on such a thing, come on. You are failing. You are failing, I'm telling you. You are failing. You can't allow this. You can't allow this. It's nonsense. Makebi Zulu now is feeling powerful. Makebi Zulu is feeling powerful. Come on. You can be more persuasive. Eh? You can be more persuasive. Are you a government? Are you a government? Makebi Zulu? Are you a government? Imwe. Muna yangala no uteko imwe. Eh? Muna yangala no uteko. Ina tati vichitike ndeme, tati vichitike. Makebi Zulu teti mufilwe. I'm a government. Ali pa South Africa panya. Pa South Africa. Iwe. Imwe. Mwila ngala. So, mwewa mubuteko, learn a lesson. Learn a lesson. Never should you allow our government to be imbalanced. It's our government. It's not your government alone. No. We are answerable. All of us as we are Zambians, we are answerable. Like I'm giving you an example. Tomorrow is Saturday. And people, I mean, they have surrounded me somehow. They have surrounded me somehow because I'm not going to be there. Whatever. They knew that, no, I mean, I had a good relationship with the former head of state. Somehow they are kind of organizing, something, to console me. Now, what am I have to start explaining? Should I be explaining this nonsense to these people here? Eh? Ngatampuku la londolola, yo, na vekati chitumbi, yo shana shani. I want to unisho kwa mashan. Eh? Kwa mashan. Awe. Makebi Zulu na wobe niba yukwawo. You would have handled this situation. They would have come on board. I'm telling you, they would have come on board. Anyway, let me open phone lines. Otherwise, it's very sad. But at the end of the day, 7 days, night for 7 days. So now, what are we going to do? Are we going to extend? Bearing in mind that, the national mourning has got bearing consequences, even on socially and economically. Socially and economically. When you put a national mourning, people can't get married. So there are people who had changed their dates to say, twalingira kupana pa 12. No, since national mourning ika wako pa 14. So number 2 kupana pa 16. If you extend, you disturb these people more. Economically, there are people who say, I want to do this business, but I cannot do this business. Your mapsi, ukushanisha abantu, that's his business. So, he cannot perform because we have got a national money. So it has got an economic consequence. And these things must be considered. We cannot hold the entire country to ransom because of 3-4 people. No, we can't. So we sana our government what you are going to say tomorrow. How you are going to handle tomorrow, you need to think about this. Courtesy is very important. Honoring the former head of state is very important. But at the end of the day, you have a country to lead. You have 20 million people to consider. So you be careful when you are handling these issues with these 3 people. Allah. 3-4 people. It's only 3-4 people. Somebody saying, but how do you know? It's only 3-4 people. The rest mark others. The only people. The rest mark others. Makebi Zulu, yes, now Musala. But other family members, it's only 2 or 3 people. So you have my number. You can now call in and give your contribution. My phone was just restarting. I had switched it off. I want to allow people to call in so that you can express yourselves. Ah, Lord. I know you must be trying, but the phone is just like, it's a small phone. So it takes a bit of time to... Come on, come on, come on. Yeah. Start. Hello? 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 Hello?
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Shikia mwavomba shani kabiri mwarosheni.
Yeah, I'm quiet.
Inene wazuru kufuma kuno kucha bishi kukopa belt.
Okay.
Chakubalira ponde fo kutotera kuli mwebashikia. Mulimo mulebombo mulimo kankala sana. Uyo abantu bambita balemona. Icha konka po. Inene nebo UPNT supporter.
Okay.
Therefore, kwebe ntunguru shisha mu UPNT. Imwe leaders besu mu UPNT mufire mwishi by'abantu ababitemwa n'abashabitemwa. Batayali ababale emisapota n'okumirandira. Bantu musonsomba bamirandu shishiringe n'oko bati omuntu afume okekala kumpyasha abana na familia. Ba president ba church lolesheni pabantu abamishinguruka. Ero kabiri ichichiro cy'abalungu sabirire ni kwesingi sana. Ifwe ine parwandi tetinte mu batayali bekale rokusha family yabo icyo baya. Ero batayali ngabali mipata imo ba UPNT. Sheki ba mirandirako.
Okay, Mwana, thank you. Mwana, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you are speaking for me. But I don't want to make this. This is not about me. And I'm not doing this because I want to come back. That is not the issue. That is not the issue. Because Mairo, you in a but never UPND. Mairo longa ta criticize UPND. Akala but Mufianteni mulongeni. Hello?
Hello, Mr. President. How are you?
Fine, thanks. How are you, sir?
I'm okay. I followed you very well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very shocked that people are holding on to a dead body where someone has to wait and someone who is respected, not just the mere person, but the former president. Someone is holding on to the body and putting on conditions that don't even add and make any sense. You know, in as much as we respect the family, but we should understand each other when we are mourning. We should not take it to heart to say, no, we did this and this, so I can't listen to you. I think things should not be like that. And I agree with you. They are talking about witchcraft. What are they doing with someone who is dead? Doesn't that up? My brother, as you said, if I was HH, if my dad can just give me even 2 hours of being a friend to say, no, I want to give you these powers. Things can be in order, my brother. I think tomorrow we can ban. But unfortunately, we are very far from ready.
No.
Thank you, my brother.
Thank you. We have different ways. But surely, I really commend the patience of Hakainde Hichilema. I really commend the patience of Hakainde Hichilema. I really commend it. But it's not how I would handle the situation myself. I don't think I would have handled the situation in this way, you know. I don't think. So national mourning will end tomorrow. What will happen at the secretariat? Will those people continue mourning? Are they going to continue being there? Are they going to continue being there? Because that is anarchy. That is anarchy. What they have been doing there. But you know, UPND Hakainde Hichilema has put up with that. I commend him. We have got a different way of leadership, but really, I think they have tried. The only thing is that, for me, they would have handled this. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, please.
Hello?
Hello, I can hear you. Yeah, I'm quiet.
Yeah.
Yo, tuli mu Zambia.
Social media. Ati amaliwa yanga yapo na waroya wakambo kwa amaloya. Yeah, that is just like on a lighter note. But I think, with all of our freedom, I think there was a lot of sympathy around the funeral and so on. But now I'm thinking and I'm checking what is happening on social media, that around number, they have even started to mock the family, but also even the dead man.
You know? Yeah.
And all this and all this has been done because of the way I think the so-called family, in inverted commas, by politicians who have hijacked the funeral. And you see, this also is exposing the dead man who is our former president. And people now are beginning to question Museva Lungu, which kind of people did he surround himself with? So now questions have started to come in. So now, I think Esther, I think let us speak to our contacts. I think these the ones we are calling now political vouchers. I think they have done a disservice to her and the family.
Mm.
And I'm sure by now Maheshi should have realized that actually they are putting in more pain than good. And finally, also, I think let me just follow what he said at the end. I think how the president has handled himself, I think all of us did not even expect that this is what is going to happen. But I think I need to commend the president for one thing. You know, this is a man who went through a lot of hell under the PA. And then he has decided to manage himself because he knows to say it's president. He can, by now he could have just instructed Samba. Now secretary. But now he has shown that even with the pain that he went through, he can still hold back and make sure that he mourns Lungu and also help to give him a dignified funeral, which these political parasites, I think, are doing everything possible to stop. So let me end the way I started. I think I'm looking forward to a time where after this funeral, even the lawyers, they should start looking for lawyers to represent them. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hello? Hello?
Thank you so much.
Hello? Hello? Move away from that phone. Move away from the other phone. I'm having a feedback. Treason. Oh.
Hello?
Yes, hello?
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 Mr. Tayali, how are you?
Fine, thanks.
This is Kenneth here from the calling from Don.
Okay, please go ahead.
You know, my brother, he challenged you to a quarter. I think it is now too much for the Zambians. Yeah, because when the funeral just happened, a lot of people are so sympathetic. As you have stated, there are a lot of effects Zambia has gone through. Some people on the positive where they wanted to do businesses, but the government declared national mourning. And those people are holding on, they don't know as to when they will come and do business now in Zambia. Because when there's a funeral for a president, some people, they anticipate instability, so they cannot do business within Zambia. For instance, I'll give you an example of maybe like those cross-border trucks that are coming from Zimbabwe going to Congo. Some of them, they are still packed and say want to see the situation in Zambia. Hence, the government is losing a lot.
Yeah.
But the challenge is they are holding Zambia to ransom, and they are trying to twist the arm of the government. But when Mr. Tayali, I'm twisting your arm, it reaches a point where you cannot twist it anymore. You will start resisting. So, to me, it's quite a very, very sad situation in which the Lungu families and the close associates that they have found themselves into, because even after the battle, there is still life after that.
Yeah. No, thank you, my brother. Thank you. Thank you. Hello? Hello?
Yes, good.
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, please.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, my name's Levi from Mwanza.
Yes, please.
Yes, yeah. So I've been following the conversation very closely. Yeah. So
My take is that, you know, we should strike a balance in everything that we are doing in life. There should be a balance. There's no way we should only strike on the government side, not the family side. The demands the families are making are very easy and simple. And they're very simple. So let's look at this critically and stop putting the family like they're a mistake. No, the Lungu family are not a mistake. Yes. And then the Paket Zulu is a mouthpiece. Just a mouthpiece. So don't condemn him like he's good on his own. That's all done.
Guys.
Hello.
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 Yes, that's Lungu.
Yeah, I'm quiet.
Okay. Yeah, we've been following the book. Now, one question that I have with you. Have you ever watched the Lungu video where President Chagwa blocked the presidential motorcade by Edgar? If you have watched that or you have not watched that, look at today, the current status. If any political party president block President Chagwa motorcade, what can happen to that person? And that is where you can see that Edgar Lungu had a heart and humility. It was David. Which political party can he block President Chagwa's motorcade? If they managed to block Edgar Lungu's motorcade, and according to the constitution, you should have been not dead by then. But Edgar Lungu forgave, and that thing went on. So these are things which if people are trained, there is no way today any political party can block the motorcade for 8H. But 8H managed to block Edgar Lungu's motorcade.
No, thank you, Mayo. Thank you. Thank you. Hello? Hello?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
Yeah, Mr. TAYALI. Mr. TAYALI.
I'm quiet.
But sir, we all get bizuru murerumbra, derumbra get bizuru. My get bizuru is a mental zero. Yeah. I reached when I for my inspection of my family. If my will survey and the my kid what the wrong ever home. If my inspection of my way of one. Come of way 9 of we room for work for that. Okay, I'm sure you're going to world.
Okay, yo, now for. And he's saying that no, Makebi Zulu is just a lawyer. You know, he's only repeating what the family is saying. My response to that is that I know that Makebi Zulu has got political ambitions. And he's doing this now Chagwa for his political ambitions. That's why I am talking about Makebi Zulu. Hello? Hello?
Yes, Mdala. How are you?
Fine, thanks.
Yes. My only question, I've only about 2 questions. So, number 1 is that I wanted to find out how Edgar Lungu Mdala, did he have relatives like uncles cousins, brothers, or what?
Well, I'm sure he had. But you know, like in any family, you can have many family members, but who has influence? Like even imwevene pamene muliri. Muzapeze kati muna ma family members vambiri, but wamene wanga kambepo pali nkani yanu ni wang'ono maona. So vimachitika vaso ma families.
They can still have a second. They will come up and say, okay, we're going to bury him in this manner.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah. Kambani anyway. Go ahead.
And then Wakandira, Vena Zulu. What's their problem, leading?
They want political power, guys. Nawe vafuna wakaleko wa president. Wamakebi Zulu nawe vafuna wakaleko wa president.
Okay, thank you, Mdara.
Nawe vafuna hapa tisana mane hii ati yo Makebi Zulu is just a mouthpiece. Makebi Zulu hata ya mingalato zake. Makebi Zulu hata ya mingalato zake. And is neutering even other members. He's neutering them. Hello?
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Tayali, how are you?
Fine, thanks.
Yes. You're talking to the man of band.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Yes, I just want to say that, I mean, those people like they're just there for political marriage, which is not good. And that woman who said no today, who can block the motorcade for president? HH has got a heart. But one thing we have to understand, even him as a human being. Maona, naive ni Maona. Because if you can see, he's trying to hold himself. There are so many talks on Facebook. Some they're saying no, he has been poisoned. Some they're even saying direct. And the one thing I might tell everybody, you see immediately after the battle, a lot of people they'll be arrested. Because even that one which when we agreed, he declared national mourning. Who is he? That is treason. It's more like he was overpowering the president, the sitting president.
Yeah, Emmanuel. I'm not for the idea that a lot of people should be arrested after the funeral, because pamariro hapa tinakamba vambiri naine nakamba vambiri na wengo nakamba vambiri. So I am praying that not a lot of people will be arrested like you have said. And given Luvinda declaring 7 days national mourning, simulandu jasana pange mulandezo kamba chabe, so nikumusia chabe.
Then the thing is, they said they had told us some grappa kama, but now in Kulia Kamanoko, it doesn't mean that now Panoli like to Nikambo kama na very voice. Kudomo ndio sana yana wisdom. You can't just be crying every day. No, when you cry, it's not our push. Then it's not our that when you come by it can lead the country to division. Right, at the end of the day, when you have one Zambia.
Yeah. No, you are right.
And that man is dead. Even if they keep that body for 1 year in South Africa, it don't change the fact that TCH is a sitting president.
Yeah.
And then the best they can do is just to bury the president, and they continue. Politics, we are in democracy country. They can continue with politics. Later on, after we bury Edgar.
Yeah.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, please.
How are you, Mr. Tayali?
I'm fine, thank you, sir.
Good. Yeah, this is the last calling from Soweto.
Please go ahead, sir.
Yeah, the thing is, I also want to find out, Mr. Kari, about that Ijabanapo Akambava, who is this Nagachinda, saying that the president was poisoned. How far has it gone, that one?
Well,
because that statement also, it was not good, because if you say that the head of state was poisoned in South Africa, so it means the South African government is also involved. So I don't know how far it has gone, that one. I don't know if you mentioned about that one. I also need clarification on that one.
Well, no, the point is that, yes, Nakachinda made those statements, and he made them in South Africa. Edgar Lungu died in South Africa. So basically, it is up to the South African government to take it up. But I think the South African government have also understood that, some of these politicians, they just say things out of politics. Just like Malema, we have Malema in South Africa. Amakamba vintu vikulu, but you don't see him being arrested. So South Africa, I'm sure they have just ignored Nakachinda to say, acha chape ma politics huyu.
Okay. No, thank you very much, my brother. I've been following you, but for sure, I think my church vankala maningi na mtima wa mkulu maningi hapa, because what is happening, this is totally nonsense. Whatever has happened, I'm telling you, PF has brought more confusion. And my church should plug the tokens that we don't need this in the future. No. Sure. I thank you very much.
Thank you. Hello.
Hello. Good evening, Mr. President.
Good evening, sir.
Firstly, therefore, Kulanda want to consider 50 Mulanda. Okay, whether in good for the UPND or bad for the UPND, it's helping the country. Because Tedion saying that I'm views if I want to make a bit of Fibiawe. And you have to, my government, but what you have, where I will and again, if it's Mamma, that's not if it's and if I mean again, place someone, how tired tell you. Now we see what is happening right now. Bambina to Ikachira, who's a Tranda Tawe, who lady that I'm Chevacano. Number lady and Gambo, Kutoma Moto Kayabe, Navish Kulosha. We shall go on the Tau Kaya lady. Alawa Tayali. Bambi Batila, Ichigan Machimichila. Info Yove, Ngata Widi, the Wino Idaru killer. It was happening. Umuntu alelira ekino kile kwa wakala bamu tata we 12 mu walo se shaya machine. So people must consider these things. Ngale longa twaipucha. How to allow Lungu for 7 days. Usibale rosha. Ngamamo nekle stop secretary. Ngamamo kuletea bila tabale ya podcast bale bale kwetiko. Ali nomba kama kulanda ni polu mbele ya kitonga. I want to know about Africa. You will see what the president to be a great number. 6 months hospital a year. Even today, and you can't speak about the business. Parliament, my
Hello?
Good evening, President.
Good evening.
How are you, sir?
Fine, thank you.
If I can be honest enough, our politicians let you on. I think they can't even match you. they can't match you. Mr. Tayali, you are one of those politicians who are upright in the way you talk about issues. And I like your stance on defending what is right. By the way, my name is Francis. I'm calling you from Chagwa.
Okay, thank you.
So what the PF are doing, they are actually making themselves unpopular. So with them, they think they are destroying HH. They are actually exposing themselves. You know, in the first place, people have carried the narrative that President Lungu is a forgiving man.
Yes.
Everyone has had that at the back of their mind. That President Lungu has got a soft heart, he's a forgiving man.
Yes.
Now the narrative that they are creating is that President Lungu was actually bitter. They are now creating a narrative that all that declaration of prayer and fasting and reconciliation was just politics. You see, so it's backfiring now. People, if just try to go through these pages like Nkani, Mwebantu, and just follow through what people are talking. There are just a few unreasonable people who are just bitter and negative. Most of them, even Opali Slapti, you see Slapti posted the HH yesterday and saying, I'm impressed with the way we shouldn't underestimate that. They are creating a positive narrative about HH. Themselves, they are using to build HH. They don't know that.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's really unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. Like the president said, if we are political rivals, doesn't mean we are enemies. We are not enemies.
No, thank you, my
even
brother.
People that never liked President Edgar Lungu, they were affected by his death.
Yeah,
he was our president.
Yeah. No, thank you, my brother.
Sure,
thank you. Hello. 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 Yes, please.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I wanted to answer that woman who was asking, didn't Edgar Lungu block did HH block Edgar Lungu? What didn't Edgar Lungu at some time block HH? I don't know if that was in Chicago's or something. So what is she saying?
Yeah.
But huh? Because at one point, Edgar Lungu had blocked HH. So now because the HH blocked Edgar Lungu, they are both off your number. Let's be fair sometimes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, my sister. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, please.
Yes, Watayali. Anainendande po program tera kwa.
Kwa ini pansaka, uyaposapo.
Ndebo kulanda pana wabalanda chawe waloya balandira fe family. Kozopo ndemona eloya wethi soti nga wamona chabantu ndechita represent. Ifepo bambo kulanda. Na fuma muisha tu alanda tawe ifite tuchite. Nga wamona status ya muntu uli involved. Ati fitwambo kuchitatwara fuma munshira. So na kwata option one arabe bati let's do the right thing. Or you recuse yourself wafuma muri issue idia to maintain your integrity na abantu reputation over kwete paliyo. But ngana okosa po fiance lawyer cause teba client yo kweta bobeka ngaba client we bala kumona shine. And how will they do business with you in the future? Ofuna chapo andande pona ine bachi.
Yona totera sana mwalo ndeke febwino sana. It's true. Hello?
Hello, Sakari.
Fine, thank you. How are you, sir?
I'm fine. Okay. It didn't just contribute in this way, you know. if you were the president, and then you have got an opposition like the PF at this current form, at this current leadership composition, and then they want to mourn for some time. What would you do? Would you let them group and mourn, or you block them? Because if it were me, I'll leave them. Let them group who mourn and do what? Because I know that we are only a year before elections. By the time they will finish mourning, I'm telling you they'll be more divided than they came. Because what is happening there is that I'm telling you the truth. That's why the Upnd is not worried. Because that grouping is, I'm telling you, there's anarchy there. It's a recipe to anarchy within their internal politics. People there are not only mourning, they are campaigning there.
Yes.
There are a lot of them who have political ambitions.
Yes.
So don't worry, the Upnd is it's not okay with it.
Yeah.
No. By the time that morning, they will even extend even 3 weeks. By the time the morning is finished, I'm telling you, there'll be fragments there.
No,
there'll be nothing. So if you give,
thank you very much.
So
yeah, hello.
Hello, good afternoon or good morning, Mr. Tayali.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Yes, please. I think you are very unfair to the Lungu family and the lawyer Makedu, Mr. Tayali. Yeah, because Makedu is just a lawyer. He's just reporting what the family is telling him. And I think you should go soft on him. And when you look at the family's demand, I don't think they are very difficult. ECL went to South Africa. He sneaked into South Africa for medicals. They did not allow him. We saw it. He was choked out of the plane at one time. So he went to South Africa, in my view, as a private citizen. So they should allow the family to bring him back into Zambia. And then after they have done they're demanding the remains to be taken to Andola and to Petauke. After they have done that, they can bring the funeral or the body to the government to do their functions, like the gun salutes, and it ends there. The demand is very simple. Let them bring back from South Africa, because he went as a private citizen. They have organized that. Let them bring back to Zambia, and then after they have done their rituals, then hand him over to the nation. I don't think that is very complicated. We know what ECL passed through. He was denied medical attention for a long time. He went very late. So why can't the government allow the family to bring him? So, and please don't add more fuel on what is going on. The family is in pain. Many Zambians, they are not talking because of cyber laws. Okay, don't think that Zambians don't know what is going on. If you go in provinces, you see the support which is there. They are not talking on social media because they are afraid of cyber. But in the streets, you go, Northern Province, Copper Belt, and just go on the ground, you see the reaction of people. They are not happy about the death of NCL. So allow the family to bring him back into Zambia, and please apologize to Kebi Mazuru. Thank you.
Listen, my brother, before you go,
yeah,
you have spoken all that you have spoken, but I can tell you, much of what you have said is out of ignorance. Out of ignorance. Total ignorance.
I don't.
Total ignorance.
No, Mr. Tayali. You know, Mr. Tayali, even if the level of agenda, you started it. After you meet Chief Mukuni, you hope that the cases will be dropped. They never dropped the cases. So now you jumped onto you are changing statements every day.
So, listen, me, I've made a statement. A reasonable person will allow me to qualify. I've said you have spoken out of ignorance. You are saying Makebu.
Not really.
Yeah, not really, but you don't know what I want to say. I mean, if you are willing to learn, you would at least listen What is it? Now you are saying
Okay.
not really.
Okay, go ahead, my brother. Go ahead. Go ahead.
You are saying Makebi
Go
Zulu
ahead.
is speaking, is just being told, is speaking on behalf of the family. But from my point of
Yes.
view, I know that Makebi Zulu has presidential ambitions. He's campaigning.
Okay, that aside, no, that's what I'm disputing. That aside, for presidential ambitions aside, but what is happening now? Because I also know, I'm talking from experience also. And what is happening?
So Makebi has told you that he doesn't want to become president. Has he told you that?
No. We shouldn't mix the presidential ambitions and the funeral.
No, he's taking advantage of it. Anyway, that is, let's just say, let's end that. You have your opinion, I have my opinion, and we end there.
No, but you are misleading.
So, you may have your opinion, I have my opinion. And you can't say, no, you are misleading. But what about you? You are also misleading. Hello? Hello?
My brother, good evening.
Yeah.
Good evening, my brother. How are you?
Good evening. Yeah, kudiva mkosa manje. Kambani wa mkosa
you know,
kambani.
my brother, we are... Hey, vindu vamene vishika mwa muziko comrade, ni vindu vati sivodabwisa maningi. Because we understand this party called the PF. Really, we understand it. And can you imagine vantu manje maliro ya former head of state bachipanga monga ni masovela basunga bodi uko kuti manje wachite please ndani. Why are they abusing the dead money who ruled our country for 7 years just because they want to gain political mileage? Why are they doing that? This is the question that people are asking. To say, really, if really there is something that happened, what are those things that they are saying he was mistreated? When you look at how HH looked after his brother, Edgar Lungu, you compare to how Edgar Lungu looked after his brother, HH in opposition. Can you really compare that? Huh? And again, Watayali, there is one thing that I want to ask you. I know you can say something on this about our constitution. You know that even the constitution on this issue has brought a lot of confusion. Somebody retires and he comes back into active politics, and the constitution says once somebody, a former head of state, does that, he loses his benefits. But when he dies, he's considered to be a statesman. I think we also need to look at this issue. I think we just have to come up to amend the constitution to say, once you are done with your years, like your Edgar Lungu, he was declared that he is not eligible anymore. There was no need of him continuing in politics. Because we are in this dilemma, because on the other hand, it says you loses anything once you come back into active politics. But when he dies, the constitution says the state must take charge of everything. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
I think we need...
I'll talk about that later. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, please.
Yes, Mr. Tayali, I would like to contribute on your program.
Please, sir, go ahead.
Yes, Kasunde, I'm calling you from UK.
Okay.
Yes, now, Mr. Tayali, mine is, perhaps maybe I take it from this, and I would want you to clarify also.
Yes.
When let's say ECL got sick, did the family communicate to government or show any medical bills to say the President ECL needed the attention in South Africa? So that, of course, at that point, obviously, that was going to be
and official, more like communication to government to tell them to say East Air was unwell and he needed to travel to South Africa. That is official. And then, you know, here on social media where they speak through social media and stuff.
Yes, allow me
because
to.
Through that, actually, the president wouldn't have.
Let me respond. It's a good question. I've spoken about this before, but since you have asked this question, let me take advantage to reiterate what I have spoken.
The second one.
Wait a minute.
As you answering that one.
Okay.
As you're answering that one, I also want you to answer this other one about the incident. I saw where a certain lady was calling about the incident in Mourning. What I know, presidents don't move anyhow. You see, when a president is moving, that's why you have the Secret Service, you have the police themselves, they go ahead to clear the road.
Okay.
I don't know what would have happened in Mongo, whether the police, you know, allowed that agent to be on the road and then they knew the president was traveling also.
Okay. So let me respond. I think especially the first part is very important. The first part is very important. I need to take advantage of that question to reiterate what I've been talking about. The first thing is that whatever, when Edgar Lungu left power, he was receiving his benefits. They were withdrawn when he went back into politics. Now, in terms of him being sick, there was no official communication to government to say Edgar Lungu is sick of this and that and he needs government help. That was not there. That was not there. I've seen people playing Utuma videos to say, no, I want to go to medical for medical checkup, but they are stopping me. Mostly it was said out of politics. Even Edgar Lungu spoke about that, but in a political context, whereby government were just taking him as, you know, politicking. But officially, like you asked, officially there was no communication. And we actually have it on evidence where Thabo Kawana mentioned about the ailment of Edgar Chagwa Lungu. We had people coming up to sue Thabo Kawana for having had said that. We have a number of people coming up and saying, no, the president is okay. So there was no official communication. And for me, I strongly believe that if there was that official communication, I think the government would have helped. And why do I say the government would have helped? There are examples that we can look at. When Banawakwi was sick, they officially communicated to say she was sick. Banawakwi, in spite of the political rivalry that existed between herself and the Hakainde Hichilema, she was evacuated. We have had also Vakambwidi. Vakambwidi, when he was very sick after the accident and everything, Vakambwidi was evacuated to South Africa at government expense and really looked after by government and brought back into the country by government. So, in other ways, I'm trying to say, if government knew about this, I strongly believe that they would have acted differently. And it is unfair to heap the blame and make them look, to demonize them. In other words, to demonize them, that they didn't care. I think if they had known, they would have done something. That is my response. And on that note, I think allow me to end here. I think I've allowed quite a number of phone calls to come through. Allow me to end on this note. Thank you very much. My issue is tomorrow. What happens tomorrow? What happens tomorrow? I am praying that government will consider, the population of Zambia, other than just looking at these 3-4 individuals who have got their own interests. I think, yes, we want to honor the former head of state, but at the end of the day, our country should not be embarrassed. Our government should not be embarrassed. We should not be inconvenienced by a few people. We have been mourning, but I think they should reach a point where we move on as a country. We cannot be held at ransom by a few individuals. It is not fair. That is where I end. I'll be expecting government communication tomorrow, and we'll pick it up from there. Thank you very much for joining in. Thank you very much for the phone calls that you have made. Probably we'll be speaking tomorrow because, the 7 days end tomorrow. What happens? So we should be discussing that in the evening tomorrow at 20 hours. Thank you.